What's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name is D, and together we are Guiding D-Light. Thank God it's Friday, right? This week sucked for you. There's a lot going on, a lot shifting, a lot of inner work that needed to be done, right? Doing the work, a lot of interperception changes too as well. But what's interesting is, we're out there, we're doing the work, right? But there's people who are going on their normal day-to-day life. They're not trying to change or better themselves, right? So when that comes in, it's a resistance, right? And then when we raise our standards, raise our frequencies, and we interact with these people, right, we have an awareness of both of our spaces, right? And they're more focused on the me, right? They're more in their own little deceived world, right? And it's challenging, it's tough at times, because that backlash or that push of energy comes back on us, right? But when that happens, let's just clear it, right? Let's not allow it to affect us, right? Let's just breathe it in, breathe it out, it's gone, right? If we sit there and we think about it, and then we start turning into ourselves, right, and judging and having all these thoughts, then we just snowball out of control. So to stay balanced, stay focused, right, and knowing what we just went through this last week with everybody, having those realization moments within themselves, right, and whether they accepted it or not, right? It's very interesting when some people accept it, right, and they hadn't before. It's like an aha moment, right? So pay attention to that. Understand, we did go through a resilience, if you will, right? We're revealing things that maybe come up to the surface, still need healed, right? See, it's important to clear old energy, old thought patterns. As you clear, you allow yourself to receive new, right? So think of it as a computer hard drive, right? Your hard drive's full. Well, you got to get rid of some stuff, right? And what best to get rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you, right? It's just hanging out there in case you want to recall it. But we're going to recall that we don't like to recall that certain situation, those certain energies, right? And it allows us to free our energetical bodies up, if you will, right? And it allows for more magnificence of golden, blue diamond light codes to come in. The communication grids have definitely been more harmonious over the last couple days, which is interesting to pay attention to, because if you've had some telepathic communications with certain people, or certain processes have been working through your head, and like really think about that. Were they good? Were they bad? Was it pure? Was it from love? Was it helpful? Was it not, right? And then that can help set up your energetical boundaries, right? So we always want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? We want to be graceful, open-armed, right? Open-doored. I'm going to treat you just like I treat everybody else, right? And if that one person decides to take advantage of it, that's when the boundaries arise, right? With certain people, unfortunately, you have to have a boundary, because they'll just walk right all over you, right? So to be able to have an understanding that I'm going to love and be open and receptive to everybody and treat everyone as if they're equal, because that's how I want to treat myself, right? Stepping into that oneness. You go argue with a stranger, you're essentially just arguing with yourself, right? I've said it before. Why would you want to argue with yourself, right? But it doesn't seem like that when you're caught up in the moment, right? Because you're right, and you're trying to get your point across. So, but when we open up into that oneness and we understand, and we clear some of these thought patterns and emotions, and we open ourselves up to receive, and open ourselves up to be, God's way through our way. Certain people want to take advantage of that, and it's easy just to cut somebody off. My suggestion is don't cut them off, just redirect them. So when you get really good at understanding energy and you see it and the communications and the way it comes in, there's certain energies, being down, boo, 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 I want to talk to you, boo, 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 and it's like, you don't want that. Just take it and place it, right? In the field, still in the field, but it's now in a container, if you will, right? And the better you get at realizing this, And the more quantumly entangled you become, and the more quantum charged you become, the more quantum vision you receive, you can segregate these energies, right? And it's so interesting because when you come into contact with somebody, you know, always smile, hey, how you doing? Give them the benefit of the doubt. But then once they start speaking to you, right? That's why I say key is listening, right? Once you start listening to them, you can start understanding where they're coming from. You can start reading that energy, right? And then you can compare the codexes to the other energies that you've already organized within yourself, right? Within your quantum reality. And you can find likenesses, right? And then you can place them with those different groups of likenesses, right? So the way I like to put it is, you go here, once you get out of that certain situation, you can come back out into the playground. But for right now, you got to go to this classroom, or you got to go sit in this corner, right? And depending, you know, whether it's fear or aggression or anxiety, anger, whatever they're dealing with, you know, it classifies and puts them in that certain pool, right? This is what I've been doing. This is some good behind the scenes. But as I've been doing that, right, you group up people that are going through the same thing, so that energy coalesces and is more reactive to interact with each other, right? So it's like fear interacts with fear, and fear helps fear, you know, transmutate. So then, bam, they jump out of the box, but then maybe they get anxiety or they get overexcited or something, you know. But the goal is to be able to be on the playground without any restrictions, right? You know, go to the monkey bars when you want to dangle, right? Go to the carousel when you want to take a spin. Why I'm saying this, why I'm trying to put this out to you guys, is we've had a huge week of progression and self-reflection, right? That's why I made that last video. You gotta look yourself in the mirror, because, you know, it's not going to be an event that happens. It's going to be you making the event, and you making the event is you conquering yourself, right? So with all that going on, we got to think about how we organize our energies, right? And where we give our energies to, right? I'll leave you out with this last one. I just had to go to the store, get some personal products and a couple other things, excuse me, for the family. And walked in, the guy was like, man, you can't come in without a mask. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you gotta have a mask to be in the store. I'm like, oh, seriously? He goes, yeah, company policy. And I'm like, I don't have a mask, man. What am I gonna do? And he's like, well, we got one for sale for $1. I'm like, okay. I put it on, and I'm supposed to go pay for it at the cash register, but I got what I wanted, self-checkout. You ain't getting the markup on that mask. $1. Isn't it like $1 for like 1,000 of them? Anyways, China, I'm watching you. I love how you flood our markets with crap. Oh, anyways, I'm getting a little off subject. But focus on these different energies. Focus on these different entanglements, if you will. Focus on these different interactions, and then classify them, right? And the more you classify them, the more organized you get within your mental structure, your thought structure, and your energetic structure. Well, when things come in, I hate to call it AI, but you automatically are programmed to receive that information, decode it, and place it where it needs to go. So instead of having to sit and ponder or sit with a heavy energy for, say, a couple days, right? When you get really good at this, it comes in, it clicks, it goes where it needs to be. And then later you go into meditation and you check your different zones, right? I always check the chaos first. Like, how's chaos doing? God, I miss you and I love you, but don't want to be you, you know? So it classifies and it breaks itself down and it organizes itself through the thought pattern and the attention that's set up on. I don't know if anybody else has out there done that. I mean, like I said, I think way too much. I analyze way too much. All my life I was told, pay attention to detail. Derek, you got to pay attention to detail. And I'm like, how much more detail can I pay attention to, right? And now that my consciousness is completely exploded through the roof, it's like I pay attention too much, right? I'm overanalyzing. And it's like, well, you said pay attention to detail. What do you want? That's another thing, right? We don't know exactly what we want, and then we get it, and we're like, okay, what's next? You know, it's like, but I'm telling you, that connection with your inner self, that connection with the energy and being able to quantumly entangle yourself in whatever you desire, right? I love live shows. I love live entertainment because everyone's connected to that live performance, right? When we can group up, we can become holistic, synergy fused, right? It creates an energy that cannot be masked, right? It's free, and the power behind it, nothing can stop it. And I find that very interesting, especially everything we went through these last few days. I mean, think about it, right? We're forced to go inward, but I'm going to say 98% of the population doesn't even want to do that. So it's resistance, which makes me want to go look at the Schumann resonance. What does it look like? See, I pay way too attention to that chart. I'm starting to think my certain thought patterns are changing the grids, right? So I had to walk away from that one, right? Pay attention to what you get involved in. Pay attention to how you focus your energy. Pay attention to different energies and how they affect you, right? Because all energy is created the same. It just has different codexes and patterns and colors. But essentially, it's all the same source. So if certain energies affect you more than others, well, I believe that's the opportunity to go out there and do the work, right? That's the weakness, right? Figure out what is in that codex or that line of thought, right? Acknowledge it, understand it, and feel into it, right? Understand it, right? Don't walk away from it, dismiss it, and not in my reality, right? No, it happened in your reality. Why, right? So really, to understand, to focus, to allow yourself to ease into it, to understand it, right? It might not be pleasant, and it might not be something you want to do, but if you give yourself that opportunity to feel into it, if you give yourself the opportunity to, compute it, to understand it, where's it coming from, what started it, right? If you allow your thought process, if you allow yourself to get that deep into the energy, it's going to strengthen you in a way that's really indescribable, right? Because when a bad energy comes into a good energy, there's no change, and vice versa, right? From the start, a couple years back, I would break mirrors, right? I was forced with that mirror to look at myself. Just break it. I don't want no mirrors. I am all that is, right? I am God. I think we take that I am God presence too far at times. And just remember, guys, you don't have to save the world. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is heal yourself, right? We touched on that in the last one, but just focus on all that. Pay attention to the organization of your energy and your thoughts, and become the quantum computer, right? They just released the quantum currency, right? That's huge. I should have $1 trillion, but who's counting? But to allow yourself to structurally build a defragmentation plant with an extraction facility to decodex all the energy within your perception, within your reality, it's truly something else. Went from wanting to see, not being able to see, to creating cities of light and quantum integrity to uplift and heal humanity. It don't get much cooler than that. Anyways, I'm D. Together we are Guiding D Light. You guys stay awesome out there. Stay true. Be you. Until next time. Peace.